Welcome back to Off the Cuff on TSN 690. Sean Campbell in for Chris Nyland alongside John Still, as we'll take you until 2 o'clock today. If you're like me and your body is a shrine, you go to the gym a whole lot and you want to make sure that everything stays normal. And we've gotten all these home gyms and everybody's trying to work out. You got the joggers, the bikers, the rollerbladers out there. But what's happening to your gym? Because we're starting to reopen here in Quebec, and it seems that every week that there's restaurants, there's what's happening with bars, what's happening with grocery stores. They're back open on Sundays. But there are some gym owners that still have some questions because they have no idea what's happening when it comes to reopening, and a lot of people are members of gyms and waiting for that answer as well. So I got a couple of gym owners on the line. They're down at Angry Monkey. That's Justin Etheridge and Dave Morin. How you doing, Justin? How you doing, Dave?
I'm great, Sean. Thanks for having us.
Dave?
I'm doing real good, Sean. Thanks a lot. I just really want to kind of reiterate that I'm actually an amateur referee for combat sports in Quebec. So I'm just an ally to Justin at the moment.
All right.
Trying to make sure that
Dave's a really strong pillar in our community. He's involved in everything.
Yeah. All right. So I know that Justin, you're down at Angry Monkey. I've known Justin a little bit. My son went to Angry Monkey, did some jiu-jitsu, and in the area, in the community, doing great stuff. But I know that Justin, you've gotten together with not just your gym, Angry Monkey, but with a lot of local gyms and in search of answers.
Absolutely. So we were have to shut down for 2 weeks in March, and here we are, almost 3 months to today, and we still have no answers. And we see, businesses and things opening up all around us, and especially, we've been paying attention to what's going on in the U.S. and in other countries, and we're far behind. For example, gyms in Wisconsin, California, and all over the world, and even Canada are open. Nova Scotia is open. New Brunswick, BC is open, and Manitoba. All these places are open. Yet here in Quebec, we don't have one single piece of information of when we can open our business again.
All right, so that's what you guys are waiting for, and you guys just want some answers from the government about what's the procedure. Now, in these gyms, there's, you kind of have regular gyms where people go work out on their own and they use the machines, and people are worried about, wiping down and all that stuff. But you also have gyms that are mixed martial art gyms where you train and you do lessons, cardio, individual sports. Is that something that you guys can start doing outside?
It is, but it's not the same effect. You need the facilities and things like that. It's just not the same thing. We feel strongly that at this point we can open up with the safe protocols and be fine. Dave has constructed and designed a really tight protocol based on some of the stuff we've seen from gyms that are open in the States and in Thailand and all over the world. And you mentioned that we were waiting for answers. Well, at one point we were waiting for answers, and we kind of realized that we are dead last on the list, and we decided not to wait anymore, and we created a group on Facebook, and it came together pretty quickly. So we got all the gym owners on the same page in a private group. We're all in the same situation, and we said, we're going to take some actions sort of collectively and push the government into reopening our facilities. And like I said, Dave drafted a beautiful protocol, and we stand behind that. It's a group of 100 or more right now and growing. And, we're mass mailing that into LEGO and different departments of our government, and we're applying some pressure. So we actually introduced our own protocol. We're not sitting and waiting anymore for their protocol.
All right. So, Dave, why don't you tell us about those protocols that you've looked around and you've decided to draft up and present?
Sure. So, we've inspired ourselves from a lot of different documents from here in Canada, some federations in the United States, And so we would start a few things, just off the bat. It would be a contactless thermometer at the entrance to make sure that everybody's temperature is on point. We would then enter all of that information into a registry, right, to keep track of the ins and outs of everybody that would be coming in. And they're already using these protocols in the airport as well. We would obviously make sure that there would be mass amounts of space in between the individuals before they come in and out of the gym, so that there's specific pathways for the entrance and the exit. so everybody knows in which direction to move. We would ask people to sign a waiver, to make sure that they're okay with what they're doing, give them a little bit of liberty and freedom, to make their own decisions, to take their life into their own hands. And when we come to classes, it'll be very simple. It's just a lot of disinfecting at every step of the way, from each equipment that's being used before and after, the services before and after, give ample time in between classes, so that there's a good amount of cleaning and disinfecting that's done. Encourage people to come already dressed, bring their own equipment, and if they don't have it, to buy it. They can even support their own gyms by buying the equipment that is on sale at the gym. Make sure that, they bring only what they need, for the class and nothing else, that they put special type of shoes for indoor exercise that they only put on once they get at the gym. Some of the other protocols too that we have here would be, we would encourage people to also, bring their own water bottles, bring towels and wipe down as much as possible, in between exercises. Even, enforce, try to encourage them to put on a disinfecting body spray that exists out there that they can get as well. Mm-hmm. We would have disinfecting products all over the training surfaces that would be easily accessible to everybody. A lot of cleaning, in between everything to keep everything fresh and disinfected.
Okay, so Dave, you have this protocol that you've put together as you've been in gyms and you're an amateur ref and you know how people function in there and you know what would work. If the government comes back with different protocols, you guys will, of course, adjust to that and follow what the government, like, let's just say your protocols are different than the government's. How do you mesh that?
Well, I mean, obviously, what we're sending out there, right, is what we'd like to have. We want to put a bit of pressure, and try to get an answer and see what they have to say, And, if they come back with, some amendments and protocols, that makes sense and that allow gyms to open up. I mean, it would obviously make sense to kind of just take those into consideration and go along with them. What we're really trying to show is that gym owners are ready to move forward on this, to take responsibility for everything that's going on. They're the ones in the gym every single day, taking their classes. They want it to be safe. They want people to come back. They want people to be happy and be healthy, right? There's huge amounts of depression going on with all of this stuff, and people need to get back into the gym, become healthy. And yes, we want to follow all the protocols that the government can come, but we're putting something forward so that they can give us an answer, right? And make some amendments, and everybody can move forward from there.
All right, so Justin, just to conclude, I know that you speak with a lot of gym members from your gym and other gyms as well. What's the percentage of people that want to come back versus who may not want? Because I'm sure there's people that are still a little scared to come back, which I think everybody has that right.
You know what? I don't think it's present at all. I think everybody is chomping at the bit and want to get things open. For us, like I often say, it's a labor of love. There's not an amount of money left at the end of the month. We're not all millionaires at all in this industry. So we do what we love, and we all really miss it right now. We miss the people we work with. We miss our students, and we miss that lifestyle. And that's hard on us. It's also hard on the students. It's hard on the community where gyms are located. Gyms like ours, they play a huge role in the community. It's very important. And just want to touch back on cleanliness. Sean, you've been in my gym and the place is back on, right?
Yeah.
I've been in gyms all around the world. I've also been in restaurants all around the world, and I know restaurants are open. And I've been in, I've eaten in some pretty grimy restaurants, but I've never really been in a dirty gym. So I hope that counts for something. Right?
Yeah.
So I hope they let us open soon.
You make a good point. The restaurant versus the gym.
Can I add one thing, Sean?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
A lot of gyms are going out of business actually right now. The stories in Quebec and in Ontario, all across the country, and they're being wiped out. And, these owners are going into debt and financial ruin. And, they're not getting any answers. And if things the government doesn't come up with propositions and solutions, half of the martial arts gyms, in this country are going to disappear forever. So it's important that we put out this message because the community needs a little bit of support out there, needs some awareness to this, this issue that they're facing that nobody is talking about.
Yeah, well, guys, I thank you for putting out there, and hopefully soon you'll get an answer from the government. And I love that you're being proactive with your own protocols that you're presenting to the government and the public. So really appreciate you guys taking the time.
Thanks for having us, Sean.
Thanks a lot, Sean. Appreciate it greatly.
There you go, a amateur referee, Dave Morin, and Justin Etheridge from Angry Monkey, part of a coalition of gym owners looking to reopen here in Quebec, as there are places in Canada that have already reopened, and they want to put in together the proper protocols like every other business so they can start moving. And I will say this, though, being active is very important. It's something that I see with my kids. I see that when they are inactive, it gets not just to their body, it gets to their mind. And that's why I know exactly what I'm doing at 2 o'clock. We're going to the park at 2 o'clock and, play around, socially distance, whatever we need to do. Just got to get outside, got to run, got to go for a walk, go for a bike ride or something. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, Dave, for spreading that word, and good luck. And maybe that's next for gym owners, as long as everything is done properly.